Okay, good morning. It is Monday, September 12th, 2022. Yesterday was the anniversary of 9/11, and that was, sad, but we'll never forget it. And then, since I've seen you last, the Queen has died, and so it's kind of a sad day. We were at the retreat when we got the news about the Queen. We were actually in an antique shop, and Nancy and I went on a cross-stitch retreat. We met all kinds of fun people and got to see a lot of interesting things, but we did our fair share of antiquing and thrifting, and it was fun. And so we are back at the sewing machine today, and we are going to sew from the Schoolgirl sampler book, blocks 45 and 46. 45 is the Zigzag. Kind of can see why it's called the Zigzag. And block 46 is the Whirlybird. Whirlybird. Her and her birds. I'm not quite sure about that. So anyway, here's my Whirlybird. It's pretty cute. Pick those little green ones to pop out on the corners. Use the same background. Then just did a little four-patch in the middle of all different colors. It'd be cute with two colors too, opposites. You could do that. And then my zigzag, I just kind of went true to form to what she did, except for with the blue, I put the red, because I loved that background with that fabric. What do you think, Peter?
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that.
I like the green on the leaves, too.
Yeah.
On that red.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my two blocks, and of course I'm going to make them here at the sewing machine with you guys. But before I do that, remember I promised you guys last week that I would show you, or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was I was here last, that I would show you some things from my Moda retreat, my Moda and Martindale.
Oh, yay. I've been waiting a very long time.
Have you been waiting?
Very long time.
Okay.
Feels like a month.
Well,
It's only been like a week though.
Some of the Moda girls got together and made these bags for us. Pretty big, but they're based on that free pattern from Moda that uses that that blue and white and green. What was that collection
It was
called?
a mini charm, and I can't think of the collection off the top of my head.
Yeah,
it'll come to me.
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's based on that, but it's a lot bigger.
That thing's big.
Yeah, it's nice and durable. So you could carry a lot of stuff in this. And then they gave us these cute little charm zipper pulls.
Oh, look at that rotary cutter.
Isn't that adorable? There were all kinds of them. All different kinds. So that was fun. And of course, you got to pick the color you wanted. And what color did I pick?
Green.
Green! Of course, the green one. Then we got two charm packs. This is a thing you put you can wind your binding on. Oh, sorry. You're still looking at the charm packs.
I'm still looking. I like fabric.
He loves fabric.
Oh, this has a lot of green in it.
It's very pretty.
That'll work for Dawn.
It's Primitive Gatherings, New Garden Gatherings. And I'm not sure whether we got that or not. But anyway, here's the a bobbin winder for your binding.
Love it.
So it's not flopping all over the place and getting all tangled up. And then we got these from Doug Lico. He gave us these, and he put our name on them. Isn't that fun?
And Doug, since we're talking about Doug has his Table-tastic 3 book out.
Yeah.
That just came out. So if you're a Table-tastic fan, look for it.
And then we got this patch from Primitive Gatherings. And then we got these scissors from the Moda Girls. It came in our bag.
Now, do you have that scissor already, Dawn?
Kai. These are Kai scissors.
So is this the first pair you have of this?
This is the first Kai pair I've ever had, yes. So that was pretty fun and exciting. Then, I think her name was Pam. No,
that's pretty.
I can't remember her name. Oh, here it is on the back. Pam. I was right. Pam gave us this. And it's got that Insel Bright in it.
I hear it.
Can you hear that? And so you don't want to put it in the microwave, but it's a good pot holder because it's got that Insel Bright in that. It keeps you from getting burned. And then me and my sisters, because there's two of them. There's Barb and Mary. Mary has retired from the fabric business. It's just, she's helping out, but she's not doing any of the sewing or designing or doing any, or traveling or doing any of that anymore. She's taking up knitting. Now hold on to your socks, girls and guys, because this is the pair she made me. She says they're big, but they'll shrink. You got to shrink them. She told me how to shrink them.
She literally said that. So she knit them this size.
Yeah.
With the intention.
Yeah, of me
to
shrinking
be reduced.
them.
Oh,
Yeah,
those are
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. Aren't they yummy?
Thanks, Dawn. Those are already my size.
Hey, but they're
I don't even have to shrink them.
But they're my color.
I'll think of you while I wear them.
No, you won't. Give those back to me. But aren't they yummy?
Those are gorgeous.
Ooh, I can't hardly stand it. I'm so excited. And then one of the girls is a photographer.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, let me think.
And she made us these, well, you wouldn't know this.
From the
girl.
sewing side or from the book side? The publishing side?
From the publishing side.
Okay. Oh my goodness, look at that.
She took these photographs and made note cards for us. And they are stunning.
Oh my gosh, can we bring that closer to the camera?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
It's a snow scene, so it looks kind of faded out, but it's because it's a snow scene.
I love the
Barn quilt.
Yeah.
Another barn quilt. There's a lot of barn quilts in Wisconsin.
Man, I need to take my camera to Wisconsin.
Yeah, look at that. Isn't that cute?
That's yummy.
And then one more.
There's one more?
One more. Isn't that beautiful? Oh,
Wow.
I lied. I think there's one more.
Oh, I recognize that.
Yeah. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was such a treat, you know, to have her photographs. And then we got a ball of Valdani, which was kind of fun. And then there's more. I got a whole big bag full. So let's see. We got this. It's a little tin box, my color. Got to choose, and of course I chose the green one. And inside, somebody gave me all this little bitty fabric to make a quilt for them with.
Little dog quilt.
So I'm going to be making them a little queen size quilt to go on their bed. It won't be a very big bed. But anyway, we got these, somebody's husband does this wood burning stuff, and they're magnets.
Oh, cool.
And they all have to do with sewing. Quilters know all the angles. But isn't that cute? Love to quilt. So I just stored them in here, and then there's one that says Primitive Gatherings. But anyway, I just stored them in here because I didn't want them to get lost. Then this was already in there, so I'm losing half my fabric. Half my quilt's gone. If you lose one piece, half your quilt will be gone. So anyway, I'll have to get that. And then let's see. Somebody gave us a little business card holder or pouch or whatever. That was kind of fun. The gifts just kept on coming. We got this pattern, this kit from me and my sister. We got all the fabric and the thread to make it. Isn't that nice? This came from Debbie Matting. She's she does indigo dyeing, and it's a scarf. And she stitches, you know, so she would like bring this up and she would have stitched that. And then she would have stitched somehow. And then she dunks it in indigo dyes.
Too bad you don't know any cowboys to give that to.
Hey, this cowgirl might just want it to wear. Or
You can wear it to the rodeo.
Or make a pillow out of. We got the new Buttermilk Acres book. I don't know if we've got these in stock yet or not.
It looks familiar. It looks like a
But it's all about decorating.
I feel
It's
like
not
you
about
do.
quilting. It's about decorating. And while I was out, I bought one of those suitcases right there. It's like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. While I was out, you know, doing
Yeah.
something. And then one of the girls gave me this and asked me to play around with it. So I just took some, it was like that. And then I
Are those holes
colored
in the
it.
wood,
And they're
Dawn?
holes. And you can either do stitching, you know, like with pearl cotton.
Oh, okay.
And make
Wow.
it and make it really fun. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some stitching with that, and then she wanted me to show it to her when I was done. We got this new book, Moda All
Real quick,
Stars.
did you use watercolor, acrylic, what oils, what paint, or
Sharpie markers.
Sharpie markers? Okay.
Yeah.
In the background, Sharpie marker?
Sharpie marker, everything. Sharpie marker.
That's cool.
Sharpie marker, right on the wood.
Huh.
So that's an alcohol-based ink. You know, Sharpie markers are alcohol-based. So there we go. That's the new quilt book from the All Stars by Moda. Of course, Moda gave us that. And the people that were there signed the book
Oh, wow.
because a lot of the designers was there. And then
What'd you get?
Martingale gave us this planner. It's a Quilting Life planner. We have them here in the shop for sale. And they're blank, so they don't expire. You know what I
cool.
mean? So you can buy one, and it can be for any year that you want it to be. And it's just kind of like a journal plus a planner plus a diary plus, you know, plus. It's a record-keeping system that you can use for your crafts and your all
That's
things,
pretty.
your whole life. You know, your life journal-y, whatever. So I think that's going to be fun. I might start that at the beginning of the year. This was in our little goodie box. This is, I guess, is why we got the pearl cotton, is to go with this pattern. It's a pattern exclusive just for people who come to the gathering. And it says Friends Gather Here, and it's a pillowcase. Isn't that fun?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, very fun. And then, this was fun. One of the girls made us quilt labels with our names on them. She did them with that fabric that you send through the computer. You know, that fabric that's, it's an iron-on patch.
Where's your name? Oh, there it is.
Right there, right
wow.
there, right there. Isn't it so cute? Look at that. I just love them.
Oh, look at the one with the little chickie.
I know, isn't he cute? I like this one with the quilt design and this one with the quilt design.
That's fun with the quilt design.
Yeah. So, yeah, so she gave us those in this nice folder. I don't know what this is.
That's your pincushion pattern.
Oh,
that
this
you
is
made.
our pincushion pattern. Yes. And I'll show you the pincushion here in a minute. And then we got this calendar from the Martingale girls. Or no, from the American Patchwork and Quilting.
Oh, 2023.
Yeah. And look at all the quilts that are in it. You guys will get these if we don't already have them. You'll want to come and pick up yourself one because it's really, really
Okay, who do we
packed
know?
full.
Who do we know? Who do we know?
I don't know. I haven't looked at
Oh, we
them.
haven't looked.
And
saran wrap's
what
still
is
on it.
so fun about the American Patchwork and Quilting calendar is you get the patterns. It includes 12 patterns for 12 projects.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, other quilters don't do that. I mean, other calendars.
Yeah, I sometimes get psyched out. Like I see a quilting calendar, and then I get real excited about it. And the first thing I have to do is figure out whether it has the patterns or not. And usually it doesn't, and then I get sad.
Yeah. So one girl gave us. Now that's all the stuff that we
That's a good haul.
got. Yeah. Here, one girl gave us this little bracelet. And you could choose, and the bag kind of went
Matches.
with the bracelet. So of course, I went right for the green bag, and then I got these. I think this is aquamarine, maybe. I don't know.
Jade.
Jade? Do you
That's
think
jade.
it's jade?
That's jade.
Ooh, got me a jade bracelet that says "I love quilting." Isn't that pretty?
That's beautiful.
It's kind of more sophisticated than my t-shirt I've got on today.
Well, it kind of goes with it. There's green in your shirt. Green
Yeah,
in the
but I mean,
beads.
beautiful jade bracelet with a I love Chloe t-shirt.
I don't know. I
Now,
think
somebody
jade goes with denim.
Someone mentioned that Chloe's name is spelt wrong, and yes, it is. But that's the way I spell it. I'm gonna just leave it like that, cause
Leave it like that,
Aunt
Dawn.
Dawn spells it just like that. So, and then we cut up an old quilt.
I have a dog story.
Okay, well,
Growing up, this neighbor had this dog, and his name was Doji. And I was like, well, that is the most interesting name I've ever heard. D-O-G. Doji.
gee.
It was just dog, but because of her husband.
I love that, Peter. So this was an old quilt that somebody brought, and we cut them into hearts with pinking shears. We cut 2 hearts out, and we embellished them. I brought a bunch of embellishments, and people could just choose what they wanted. And I brought everybody a charm that said 2022. And so we embellished them and put these little hangers on them so you can hang them on a doorknob or anywhere you want some happiness. You
I'm
can
liking
hang
the
them.
crocheted lace, the tatted lace.
Does this
the
remind
button.
you of your
Slow stitch.
slow stitch group?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here staring at this because I'm trying to get ideas for my class that's going to meet on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I love that.
Well, there's some tatting on there.
Yes.
And then there's some crochet on there.
I love that.
And-
I love what you did with this button and
Yeah,
that crochet behind
yeah.
it.
Now this is not a button. This is an old milliner's
Oh.
celluloid embellishment.
Oh.
Yeah, it's old. It's very old. Yeah. And so then another person brought another quilt. So we decoupaged this one to make it real stiff. Isn't
The
that
heck
fun?
is decoupage?
You know, it's just like glue. And so this one's real stiff.
So that's the neatest thing I've ever seen.
Isn't that fun? I'm going to put a wire hanger on it. I'm going to punch holes here, and then I'm going to curly cue the wire here and then bring it back, and I'm going to put a wire on it and hang it that way. So that'll be
Nice.
fun. So we did 2 of those. Oh, somebody gave us scissors. I think this was from Doug, too, Doug Lico. And they're real nice. And look at this sheath that it's got it on it. There's no losing those. I think those you could take it to the airport and they'd be okay with it. And then another girl made us this. She has a cute sense of humor. She made these cute saddles for these animals.
Is that the Nativity Lamb? The one from Italy?
No, I don't know.
He reminds me of one.
I think her dog might have gotten to its face because his face looks chewed up. But anyway, he's kind of funky. He's probably an antique.
Oh, that's cool.
But isn't that funny? She's just got the cutest sense of humor. That's Michelle.
I need to make one
From
of those with
Moda.
a horse. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And then we made a couple things. I didn't bring everything we made, but we made a couple things. Here, somebody gave us these pins to try out, these new, whatever kind of pins these are.
Those are those heat-resistant ones.
Uh-huh. And so anyway, but isn't that pretty? Didn't that turn out so nice? I just love that. And I put some trim around the outside. This one I sewed on the sewing machine. And then I had to make one by hand. So you can kind of see the difference. See here where there's stitching on the outside of the little star points. And they kind of stick up. These don't stick up because they are totally stitched down.
When you say stitched by hand,
Yeah, I stitched.
pieced by hand?
I pieced all that by hand. I stitched all that down by hand.
No sewing machine?
No, none.
Oh, that's right up my alley.
Yeah,
Did Cappy do one of those?
I don't think she did one by hand, no. I think she did a sewing machine one. And then this was my favorite thing we did as far as making things.
Oh, I saw that.
Isn't this so pretty? Now it can sit on a shelf like that, or it can hang, you know, but I chose all green ones. Of course I did. Look at that. And then here's a couple actual green spools. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 green spools. Then I love this super strong, heavy duty, 15 cents. 15 cents. Here's one 29 cents.
Hey,
so that's a little
Dawn.
better thread, I think.
You know when old people they talk that I remember when milk was 25 cents a gallon. You know what quilters talk about?
Yeah, thread.
I remember when spools of thread were 15 cents.
Or how about fabric when fabric was $2.99 a yard? Yeah, that's kind of fun. So anyway, that was my adventures in my gift giving and gift receiving, and it was lots of fun. We enjoyed ourselves. It's not all about the gifts, but the gifts make it fun. You know, I gave away the little trash cans, and everybody seemed to enjoy them, so I was happy about that. And they got to choose the color that they wanted, so that was fun. And of course, you know, all the friendships and the reuniting of friends you don't get to see very often because we're all very busy people. We work in the industry, and we take this time for ourselves just to regenerate, you know, get some of our juju back, and kind of all sit and talk creatively and see what the year's gonna bring us. So it was lots of fun, and we did lots of fun things together. So
Okay, so question. Lisa Bonjean's Primitive Gathering.
Yeah, the gathering.
What star rating do you give it?
Well, as far as retreats, on a 1 to 5 scale, it's got to be at least a 25, because it is super, absolutely wonderful. If you get a chance to go, anybody can go and have a retreat. You can get several of your friends together and schedule a time, call them, just Google it online, Primitive Gatherings, The Gathering, and it will pop up, or The Gathering Retreat. That would also bring it up too. So it's a wonderful place. It's all inclusive. They have meals there. They have your bed there. Everything you should need, irons, and it was just fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I would go there and live if I could. I've always said that there needs to be an old folks home for old lady quilters, and gentlemen, I guess, would have to have a different home. But anyway, I always wanted to call it, if I ever had one, I'd call it the home for the materially insane. And they could pay their rent with fat quarters. Wouldn't that be so fun? Those are the kind of dreams I dream. So anyway, let's get to sewing. What do you say, huh? Okay, we're going to start sewing our blocks together. Can you believe we're on 45 and 46 already? It's going pretty fast. I'm going to start by sewing my 4-patch together. I've got my 2 pieces here. I've got to get my shoes off. I'm just going to take one shoe off because it's kind of cold in here today.
Well,
on the floor.
I can get you some socks.
Hey! I got some pretty socks on. Okay. On the way here this morning, I was thinking about something I wanted to tell you. Now I can't think of it, but I will. Oh, yes, I will. When we get to that certain spot, I'll tell you. But anyway, I'm going to start out by sewing my 4-patch together. Now this square, it seems like it's either too short or too big. I'm going to have to measure that to see. They're not the same size. They need to be... Okay, this one's too short. So I could get up and sew another one. I mean, cut another one. But you know what I'm going to do? It's only short 1/8 of an inch. I'll just have 1/8 of an inch seam allowance there. I'm going to lower my stitch length so that it'll hold together better. But I'm not going to get up and cut another one. I'm just going to use this one. I don't know. I got it out of my scrap bag. my scrap box for this project, and evidently it had just gotten cut too short. Now I'm going to make these half square triangles that are on the corners here, and we all have done this before, where you take 2 squares, contrasting color, lay one on top of the other, and if you don't have this magic tape, you're going to have to draw a line and sew on one side a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch on the other side. Looks like this. Can they see that, Peter, where the stitches have been sewn? One side and then the other. I'm going to just finish up sewing this one. Let me get that right on the... Okay, there we go. And I'm just using the lines of my tape. I'm going to clear my machine back to my original length. And then, so these two are sewn together now. Gonna get out my trusty, dandy, handy dandy flapper. I'm gonna press these seams open. I think I was starting to tell you I was at another quilt shop this weekend, and it was really super nice. It was in Missouri, Independence, Missouri. It was called the Quilter Station. And they were very much like us. They have everything. They didn't have yarn, but they had wool, they had cross stitch, they had needle punch, they had, but they were all about Civil War. So you know I was just right in my sweet spot. They had a little bit of Tula Pink, not very much. They had tons of wool and tons of flannel. It was really fun to see another quilt shop and how, you know, they lay their things out and how they do things. So that was really fun. Okay, let's get back to these half square triangles that we were making. Let's sew these together first so we can get that other one out of the machine. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, you know, pull that back so you can see the seams match up, and then I'm going to pin. And I'm going to make sure that those are together before I start. And then I'm going to stop, and you know, I'm going to make sure, look at how this happens. Can they see this, Peter? See how this is not lined up, and this is not lined up? So sometimes you have to stop. If you don't pin in all 3 places, you have to stop and pull that back around. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got my hand in the way. You pull that back around so that it lines itself up. And then you can use your stiletto to just go ahead and feed that through. Now that happens sometimes. That's a fabric jump. Jumping jack flash. What was that? I don't even know what that is. I just said it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut on the diagonal. And then we are going to size these up, you know, square them up, and we're going to use our ruler and our dotted, like Peter says, sewing line to sewing line, because it's a little dotted line. Sewing line to sewing line. A lot of people want to put it down there where the cut line is, but don't do it. Don't do it, Ethel. Don't do it. So, we got in from our trip. We left the cross-stitch retreat at about 4:30, and we got home like at midnight. Dropped Nancy off at her house about midnight, and I got home about 1 o'clock. We had a real good time. We learned a lot. We might be having a cross-stitch retreat here. before long. Wouldn't that be exciting?
That would be exciting.
Yeah, yeah. We got to meet Alma from Blackbird Designs. We got to meet Teresa Kogut. Now, for sewing people, that might not mean anything because that's all cross stitch. Let's get back to sewing, okay? Let's talk about sewing a little bit.
If you want to hear about it, though,
yeah, I'm sure
maybe
it'll
we'll
be on
do
the floss tube.
We'll have
Nancy,
a special segment.
or Nancy might do it on the floss tube.
With you and Nancy.
Well, that'd be fun too. Whatever.
I'll edit it in.
Whatever. I don't know what the protocol on that is.
Or try to edit it in if I can. If I can get footage of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought all my projects today.
Did Nancy bring hers too?
I think she did.
You know, maybe we do that after this video.
Maybe we could.
Film it and then I can edit it into FlossTube.
That'd be fun. So anyway, needless to say, since I've been gone for, all these days with the retreat, then I haven't had a chance to sew much. We're going to press these open. These are our half square triangles that are going to go on the corners. Oh yeah, okay, I remember what I was going to talk to you about. When I start putting on these half square triangles, I will talk to you about that. It was when I was attaching them to the sides.
When they fill out this, and this is approved.
It's so important that you have a correct 1/4 inch. And every machine is going to be different. You'd think, oh, a 1/4 inch is a 1/4 inch. If the foot says a 1/4 inch, it's a 1/4 inch. Well, is it a 1/4 inch on the outside of the foot? Is a 1/4 inch all the way inside the foot? Is a 1/4 inch halfway between? It's just like when you do your rulers. Are you cutting on the outside of the line? Are you cutting on the inside of the line? Are you cutting right on the line? You've got to find out those things for yourself because all the equipment is different. So with what you're using, you want to make sure that you know just exactly where your 1/4 inch is. And that's just trial and error. It's something that you have to, play around with and find the sweet spot on your sewing machine. So now that I have these made,
Thank you, Lisa.
I'm going to lay this out. There's my Peter background fabric. That's going to be my background. It always is, always will be for this little project that we're doing. I'm going to lay these out. Okay? Now this is what I was going to talk to you about. If in the book, when you square these up, it is not clear to you what size to square these up to. I don't know if she tells in here. I didn't really read. I just was going by the picture. But if she doesn't, or if you should get a pattern and it's not real clear what size to square the half square triangles up to, you're always going to look at the piece that you're sewing it to. And you know it has to match up. So whatever this piece measures that you're sewing the half square triangle to, that's what size you square that up to. All right, does that make sense to everybody? Because sometimes they'll just say square it up, or sometimes they'll give you the increments to start with, but then don't tell you what increment it needs to finish or to be cut down to. So always you can read in your pattern and find out what size piece you're sewing it to, and that gives you the measurement. That's the thing I thought of this morning when I was coming to work, and I thought, boy, that's something that we haven't ever talked about. And that's a really good tip, because sometimes you search the pattern high and low for that measurement, and it's just not there. And so then you have to rely on another measurement. So that's what you do. That's how you figure it out. So, sometimes it gets so confusing with that 1/2 inch. You think that your seam allowance is a 1/4 inch, but actually your seam allowance on an entire piece is a 1/2 inch. So, if you are wanting to figure out the size of something, and you need the finished size, you have to take away a 1/2 inch, not just 1/4 of an inch. So now there's that. So let's sew that on. Now I could pin that, but I'm not going to. It's laying very flat, and I can feel whether it's going to bump up. It's not. I'm getting a little bit freer with my pinning, aren't I, Peter? Little bit.
Vicarious.
Yeah, a little bit brave there.
You're living vicariously.
I'm being brave.
We're going to change the station name to the Vicarious Quilter.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to take your tape strip off and just have you...
Oh no, willy-nilly. Oh no, don't get rid of my tape. Oh, that'd just send me over the edge, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew the other side of this one on. See how that goes. Chloe missed me. I got gobs of hugs and kisses this morning. We played, and she was just so happy.
Sounds like Chloe lost control of her liquor.
Oh my goodness, she's so sweet. I just love her to death. You know I do. And
Well, I can see why.
yeah, she's a sweetheart of a dog. And then Biscuit, now Gizzy's mad at me. He will not be speaking to me for about a week. I went over and sat on the couch by him, and he just growled at me. He is so mad at me, he can't see straight. So anyway, he'll get over it once he wants something to eat and drink. He'll get over it. You know, that's how they are. They get their feelings hurt just like people do.
So if you hurt somebody's feelings, you just take them out to eat and all's well?
Evidently. Works for me. I'm getting ready to go sugar-free on my birthday. I'm going to go sugar-free, Peter.
Wait, you're not sugar-free?
I'm not sugar-free right now. No, I'm eating every piece of sugar I can find.
Oh, I didn't know you were a sugar hound.
Yes, I love sugar.
Oh.
Donuts, cake, cookies.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
In moderation, or just that's what your meal consists of?
Oh, no, in moderation.
Oh, okay.
But you know, carbs. I love carbs.
Me
Oh,
too.
my goodness, love carbs. Mashed
I live on
potatoes,
carbs.
corn, peas, you know, all that stuff.
Carbs is how this engine is fueled.
I'm telling you. But they're not your friend when it comes to your health. That's what I've heard. And the doctor seems to think I'm a diabetic, but I told her I'm not. So, what she doesn't know won't hurt her.
Did you turn around and say, no, you're the diabetic?
You're the diabetic! Don't be telling me I'm the diabetic! So anyway, we're going to kind of try to control it with diet. I don't want to go on metformin or whatever that stuff is she
Like
wanted me to go
insulin or
on.
whatever?
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, Peter. I'm going to live in the land of denial. I know it's wrong.
Hey, you know
But I'm gonna
what?
control
It sounds like you can take steps to control what you can control.
I think you can.
And you know what? That'll get you there, hopefully.
I think you can control it with your diet.
But I believe in that.
As long
so.
as you're not a, full blown, what's that? There's like 2 stages or 3 stages.
Yeah, where, like, I'm kind of, I get, what is it, low sugar, low blood sugar?
Yeah, low blood sugar.
So that's why I always have, so I can't just eat, like, 2 or 3 meals a day. I need snacks in between or else I'll just, hey, what happened to Peter? Where's Peter?
Yeah, he's snacking.
He passed out. He's under his desk.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of those, if you're one of those that has, a serious, I think she just thinks I eat too much sugar. And I'm overweight, that adds to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and control it with our diet and see how that goes for a few months. And then she told me I was dehydrated. I'm telling you what, whoever makes up the numbers that decide whether you're healthy or not,
Doctors might get more visits if they say, wow, Dawn, you look terrific.
Right.
Have you been sewing lately?
Right, exactly. There you go,
And you'd be
Peter.
like, you know what? I love you. I will be here next month.
Yeah. So anyway, That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to have to set that aside until I can get this out of my sewing machine. And I'm just going to do that by starting on my other block, using it as my beginners and enders. I had to take my beginners and enders home. There's no room in the inn for the beginners and enders anymore, so we had to take them home. And I'm just going to go ahead and sew as much as I can without a beginner and ender. So, this one's pretty. It's got that green that I love. You know how I feel about green. So,
You know, I'm finding that I'm liking green more and more.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's so many different shades of green. You know, the other day we were driving home. Nancy and I got to laugh. I tell you, we had so much fun. We laughed at us laughing. That's how bad it was. We laughed at us just being silly, fun laughing. And we were driving down the road, and there was this wacky car, and it was the weirdest color. It wasn't gray. It wasn't silver. It wasn't putty color. It was just a weird color. And so, I don't know, it tickled my fancy, and so I started laughing about it. I said, that's, it's not putty, and it's not gray, it's gutty. So I made up a new color called gutty. And then we got to laughing some more. You know, the tireder you get, the sillier you get. And I mean, you know, we're driving home at midnight. And we've worked all day. I mean, we've cross-stitched all day. It's not really work, but you know what I'm saying. We were up all day, up with the chickens. And so it was just tickled my fancy, and I just started laughing. Nancy, I know, thinks I'm crazy. I know she does. I can't help it. I am crazy. I'm crazy. You got to make, and at one time I told her, I says, Nancy, we got to make our own fun. Nobody's going to make our fun for us. We got to make our own fun. And I'll tell you what. Oh, Peter, this was something really interesting. We went 70 into Missouri all the way, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
I bet there were 9 billboards for quilt shops. Billboards.
Wow.
Billboards on the highway that said, you know, come, and one of them was called All in Stitches. Instead of Always in Stitches.
Yeah, All in
It's called
Stitches.
All in Stitches. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't stop at any of those. We were too busy antiquing. But anyway, we thought that was kind of fun. That we kept seeing billboards. We said, we need ourselves a billboard. I think they're kind of expensive.
They are expensive.
Yeah. So we're going to choose to probably...
Those must be the shops that don't have YouTube.
Well, maybe. Because we're going to spend our money on buying fabric for you guys to buy instead of billboards, I guess. But it was pretty interesting to see all those billboards along the road. Because usually, you know, all the billboards are tied up with golf courses. Come to this golf course. Come to that golf course.
The only billboards I'm interested in Wisconsin are the cheese billboards.
Well, there was lots of... Well, we weren't in Wisconsin. We were in Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. Wrong retreat.
Wisconsin was the last retreat. Yeah,
Missouri.
Yeah. So
Well, when you said 70 to Missouri, I'm thinking...
70 to Missouri, yeah.
I just went to the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I was going towards Illinois on 70, and you were going towards Missouri on 70.
Yeah. And we tried to find one of them restaurants. Nancy knows the name of it. I forget what she said. Lambert's. She's called it Lambert's. And where they throw the rolls at everybody, you know. Hey, can I have a roll? And then they just throw it to you. Have you ever heard of that restaurant?
No.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been fun? We couldn't find one near where we were at, but they have those in Missouri. Yeah, that was we tried to find one of those. We were not successful. But they still did have some cheese shops there. I mean, you know, they do make cheese in Missouri, in almost every state, I think. Unless they imported in from Japan. So, anyway. We stayed at a really nice hotel, one of those Hilton Garden Inns.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Well, we must have found the dud one.
Did you find the dud?
Because the first night we were there, everything was hunky-dory. We got up the next day. bathtub didn't drain and our toilet didn't flush. So we had to move rooms. So that was annoying. Because
they're like, hey, we'll book them in this room, and hopefully they don't flush the toilet and they don't use the bathtub.
Have to use the toilet or the bathtub. Right. But you know, they didn't have any maintenance since the COVID. I think these hotels have learned that they can go without any help, and people aren't going to complain. I don't know why, but you know, there's no housekeeping. You're there all week, and that's fine until you run out of washcloths, you know, or towels.
Oh, so no towel service?
No towel service. You have to go to the front room and front desk and ask. And then there's no maintenance people. So, you know, there was no maintenance. So they couldn't call somebody to fix it. So luckily they still had a room. We got in another room. And you know how some hotels rooms, the beds are facing one way and the TV's on one side, and then the other faces the other way? Well, we got a room. The first room, the beds were facing that way. And when we got to the new room, the beds were facing that. I said, Nancy, I can't sleep here. I can't sleep here. Everything's backwards. It's all backwards. I can't do it. She thought I was serious. She's so funny. She said, really, Dawn, really? No, Nancy, I'm just kidding. But it was just freaky weird that you walk into a room and it's completely backwards from the one you just, you know, got out of. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, we had a good time. And then September has just been a busy, crazy month for me because now September, I forget the date. I think it's like the 22nd maybe. We're leaving for the retreat for the Indiana State Quilt Guild. We go to Clifty Falls for our fall retreat. And that, you know, always it's beautiful in Clifty Falls this time of year. So, okay, there it is. That would be the Whirlybird. Do you see a Whirlybird in there anywhere? I do
see
not see a Whirlybird.
I see a basket.
You do not see a
No, I see a basket.
How can you see a basket?
This is the double handles, and that's the center of the basket.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Now I'm
making that up.
Well, you remember that last block that was a basket?
It was
I said,
a
no,
bird.
it's a bird.
It's a bird in a basket. Yeah, wren or something like that. The little wren or however, whatever she named it. That was crazy. I couldn't figure that out at all. But some people saw birds. Some people saw a bat.
Yeah, the bat.
Yeah.
Bats in baskets.
Yeah.
Bats in blooms.
There you go, baskets and bats. And ready for Halloween. You know,
As soon as the air gets chill like it was today, I'm ready. And everybody's putting their pumpkins out. Their ceramic pumpkins. Yeah.
Well, we went to Menards. We had to buy one of them plug-ins that takes a two-prong to a three-prong for one of our lights.
You going to Europe?
No, for one of our lights.
Oh.
And at the Crossroads Retreat. And so we went to Menards. It was right across the street from the hotel. We went to Menards. You know you can save big money at Menards.
Did you?
That's what they say. Well, it only cost me 69 cents for my little trinket, for my little plug. So yeah, that was pretty good. But anyway, they had all their Halloween stuff. And so I was trying on all the Halloween masks.
Oh, man.
Freaking Nancy out. I found this one. It was kind of freaky. It was me. It looked like me, kind of, but with like gigantic eyes and gigantic eyelashes and a little dark perm. It was so cute. So I took a picture of Nancy took a picture of me. Okay, now look what just happened. I'm going to stop talking because look what happened.
Oh, I see what happened.
Can they see this, Peter? Because I didn't pin. This is the reason you pin. Right there. Because that happens. So now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to back up.
Where the seam got folded over?
Yeah. See how that seam, the foot just made the seam fold over? So now what I'm going to do, I had to back up and I'm going to put that back down. Put my foot back down over it and I'm going to sew it. Because I would have had to taken that seam out. I mean, some people don't, but I would have had to because I wouldn't have been able to stand that. So anyway, Nancy took a picture of me in this Halloween mask, and I sent it to my friend Tammy and said, Tammy, I was at Menards and got a perm. What do you think? better insert a picture of it, okay? Because it is hilarious. It is hilarious.
Nancy's gonna have to email me.
Well, no, I've got it on my phone. I can send it to you.
You email it to me.
Yeah, I can email it to you. So anyway, pretty fun stuff.
Should that be the cover for the video?
Oh, I don't think so. That may be scary. Be too scary. Too scary. Okay, now we've got them. We've got our blocks made. Look at that. That's zigzag. I've never made that block before. It was pretty simple. Just 2 rectangles, a rectangle, a square, a rectangle, and then 2 rectangles, and then you just alternate the rectangles. So that's pretty cute. I'd like to see how that goes together in a quilt, what the secondary block would look like. You know what I mean? Or you could add a different, instead of making it all this, you could make a different secondary block and see what you got. But you kind of got an L shape there. And then this, I don't know if you could have another L shape if you put another piece there. I mean, it'd be interesting to make several of those and play around with it and see how it would look. Let's put it down here. Let's see. So that, would alternate. That would give you that alternate block.
So it'd be, that would look cool.
Yeah. So you'd have a zigzag going through and a zigzag going through. Because if you put it down, if you put it here, see, you'd have a zigzag going down and a zigzag going down. So isn't that interesting? Now you could do that. And then you'd have zigzags coming into one another. See how that would work?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I think that'd be fun to play around with that. Make several of those blocks and play around with how that secondary block would look. And maybe you could even alternate something in there to give it an even different look. So, and this is fun. Look at how excuse me, I keep burping. How different it looks with the different backgrounds. Isn't that funny? How these kind of don't stand out as much as they do here because the contrast is lower. See, there's more higher contrast in the background because the background is light, where this background is still light, but it is not as light, and so the contrast is not as large. So, but to add, because I knew that this contrast needed to be a little bit more, I added the black, and that is really big contrast there. Where here, the contrast is not as big. The squares kind of play the role of the quilt block. This kind of takes the attention. Where in this square, the half square triangles take the attention. Because that's the highest contrast. Here's the highest contrast. See that? So we've talked about temperature and in color, and now we're talking about contrast. We're just learning all kinds of things together. Okay? And that's what it's all about. That's what this channel is about learning. So I hope you learn. I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy the segments. It's going to be over in December. Then what are we going to do? I don't know. But it's always fun to sew with you here at my sewing machine. Thanks for coming. Bye.